You're such an asshole.
Good morning, Pimp Daddy with the G, y'all. With my necklace on. Lend-lease from the nieces at assholeconsulting.com. An anonymous man writes, I've been at the same company for quite some time. I'll keep you anonymous. Can I hear myself? There we go. And work in a team. Coworker was promoted over me a couple years ago. He's a minority, and I really had no chance of being promoted, even though I'm more skilled and experienced. Well, that's why we're part of the 1099 superior race. You just go there to get your money, get your check, and then get your business started, and then you leave. And then you let the companies promote people based on their skin color and gender and made up make believe gender they happen to be, or the made up mental illnesses, and not the content of character. You don't work long-term for bigoted, racist, sexist, or otherwise discriminatory organizations. With that being said, he's one of the few managers that is respectful, is not psychotic, is actually somewhat humble. He has transitioned to management. I've discovered he has no balls when it comes to dealing with upper management. He will always cave to upper management's demands, even if unreasonable, and not only complain about his own stress, but spread it amongst his crew. How does this sound like, one of the few managers that is respected? It sounds like a pain in the ass. He's doing less and less real work and spending more and more time acting like a typical manager, as well as coming up with silly ideas to try and squeeze more productivities out of his employees. Even though I like the guy personally, he's unorganized and isn't all that smart. Most of the grunt work he used to do has been delegated to his employees, and I've inherited much of it. In addition to having more work thrown onto my plate, I've found myself doing more and more menial tasks while he's playing manager. For example, I could be in the middle of a project, which considers concentration, and he'll call me on the floor to bring him an item. I won't say what. He has no problem spending extra hours at work or being available 24/7. That's how he compensates for it. That's great, but apparently he assumes that everyone on his team should be the same way. Does it happen to it? Does he get laid? Does he have a life outside of work? Probably not. Doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it's an annoyance to be expected to drop everything and work unpaid overtime. He has called me to look into stuff that could wait until I am back in the office. Apparently, he and the other team member that is higher ranked than me don't have much else going outside of their jobs. I think my boss sometimes stays at work to avoid going home to his wife and kids. They think nothing of giving up their free time to the company. All right, there you go. That's part of the corporate culture. I value work-life balance. I don't really want to do anything with the place when I leave at the end of the day. However, I am part of a mandatory team, so it's part of the deal. I'll sometimes get called upon when I'm not supposed to because of your particular specialty. I'm really trying to keep you anonymous. I found myself getting more stressed out lately. Should I go to him and express my frustrations? He is the type that will just start bitching about his own problems. All right, well, you answer your own question there. He is not receptive. Well, you could pull the old Gen X, grab him by the lapel, say, listen, you limp dick fuck. I don't give a shit about all this managerial crap, all right? You could read him the Riot Act. Because there's some people, it depends how egotistical they are. There's some people deep down, and he's probably one of them, that deep down inside know he's a poser, know he ain't cutting it. But like, if you're like, let's go get a beer. And you could say, look, I like you, but you're a shit manager and you can't manage for shit and you don't stand up to management. And this fucking bullshit, we're not all on the same. Like, you level with them. Kind of how the principle of asshole consulting works. Like, you get all these, I think I've been lied to, and I was just wondering what you think. Like, and then I could come in there and beat the fucking shit out of them. And in some kind of sadist way, you're like, dude, thanks for kicking my ass. I needed it. He kind of sounds like that, but I don't know. It's one thing for me to risk a $35 consult. It's another thing for you to risk your job. I'm just saying that's like maybe the nuclear option. But you've answered the question there. If we're going to do this professionally, he's just going to complain. So you're talking to a wall there. I don't get the impression that he cares about where I'm going, where I'm willing to go in my career, just that I'm there and I'm obeying him and doing what he wants me to do when he wants me to jump. Kind of like you write your books about corporate management. Yeah, I mean, that's corporate management too. Keep in mind, he's got a ton of irrational, unrealistic expectations and demands coming in from the higher ups. So I feel a little bit sympathetic for him. And let's also, here's another drawback, everyone, well, yay, affirmative action. Even if you happen to be a minority or someone who benefits from it, well, what if you're promoted to a position that you're not qualified or ready yet for? This kid could just be, Lord knows what kind of frustrations and confusion and fear he's got because he's not, they threw him into something he probably, in time you could handle it, but maybe not now, but they're in such a rush. Like, hey, yeah, I guess I'd like to be an airline pilot, but don't like, hey, you want to be an airline pilot? Well, come on in and here's the joystick. Maybe I should go to school. So I think he's just, if he's not confident, what he may just be doing is defaulting to senior management without actually being a manager himself, saying, well, look, guys, we don't have the resources for that. I'm not going to push my team that far, because he doesn't know any better. So, I don't, some of it's maybe him. A lot of it, though, probably is the sunshine. Give him a little bit of leeway, give him a little bit of slack. Most of my stress is due to management's failures to plan or somebody else's laziness or stupidity. Yep. You know how many mistakes we make here at Asshole Consulting? Like maybe 2 a year. And I am so hard on myself when I F up like that. Like when I forgot to tell Chad, oh crap, I forgot to include my IRA contributions. Oh, I felt horrible. Felt absolutely horrible. But I run a very tight ship and there are no problems. And therefore there are no headaches. And every great once in a while I screw up and there's a problem and I take care of it. When I worked for other people, this is life. Most of your life, not half, not a quarter, most. And I would say damn well near 75%. And this number is only going to increase as we raise complete soy boy, worthless pussy now Gen Zers. Heaven help us what Generation Alpha is going to look like. And we're going to have plants. That's essentially what we're going to have, walking plants. That's what humans are going to delve into. The percent of your time spent cleaning up other people's messes, the amount of broken window fallacy work that's going to be done is going to be approaching 80%, maybe even 90%. I'm just going to slowly choke off productivity. So yeah, get used to that. And get used to that. And that's not going to change necessarily where you go. Hopefully you go to a place where maybe half your work is spent doing actually what you're supposed to be doing. Heck, even in banking, I've told you many times before, 2 hours a day, that's all the real work I ever need to be done. Remaining 6 hours of work, it was like, okay, I look like I'm busy. We're bankers. We are so intelligent. Should I attempt to salvage the situation, or is it time to start looking for all their alternatives? No doubt he'll feel blindsided if I were to leave. Too bad for him. But at the same time, I don't think there's really anything he'd be willing or able to do. How much you charge? I had some questions. Oh, you edited. All right, you tailored it down. Yeah, here's what it's the same solution I give you. Look, y'all, I got problems at work. The first question I need to ask you guys is, did you apply for other jobs? I'm having trouble with the girl I'm dating. Are you dating another girl? Bring competition into it. Because I can't really help you. Your hands are tied when you don't have another job offer. You cannot go into a negotiation without having a position of power over the other guy. And the way employees do that is you have another job offer. Well, I always say the very next job you have to engage in after you get a job acceptance letter and you start is to start finding another job. I'm not saying for that day, but you should be on the phone with your recruiter like once every 2 weeks. Hey, anything pop up? Here are my standards. Here's what I need. I'm always in the market. I'm always a whore for more money, work from home privileges, and better benefits. I'm always in the market for a girl with bigger tits, a nicer demeanor, redder hair, and more proclivity to wearing lingerie. This one won't wear that much lingerie. Oh, my girlfriend won't X, Y, and... Well, I guess you go find another one, huh? My girlfriend's getting fat. Dude, on it like that. You get fat, I'm finding another girl. It's the same thing with work, guys. I got problems. How do I get a raise? I don't like my boss. Do you have another job? No? Well, I guess you're going to suck it up. Because unless you're independently wealthy, you can't risk losing your job. And we'd like to think that we're all mature adult professionals in the world of corporate America where you can say, boss, I've noticed, and you're putting irrational demands and coming up with blah, blah, blah. Dude, fees before re-rees. Not but real reels. Fees before real reels. No one in corporate America cares about the real world. They don't care about efficiency. They care about their fucking egos and their fucking pride and their fucking feelings. Male or female, especially men. So that's more of a pride and ego thing. So, I mean, unfortunately, this is the problem with corporate America, is you can't tell them the truth. Like, hey, I got a real genuine concern here. We're not, no, you can't do that. You can't, because you risk getting fired. So the best way to do that is you leave, you get another job offer, and then you got options. You can go work the other place, or you could try and negotiate. Like then you could tell yourself, say, look, here's the deal. We're not coming in at it. You're never about a boo. You're not going to come up with these dumbass ideas. You're going to tell management to screw off, and then upper management could be there. They could send a representative like they would. Like, yeah, I'm not working. We have lives. This is not my life. This is where I make money to go live my life. And then you could be honest with them there. It's like, and unless these things were to change, and you guarantee, and here's another thing, because corporate America, you're not talking to a sentient entity, you're talking to the board. So you're also going to give me a bonus if I decide to stay here, and a raise. And there are these things written into a contract, because guess what? They might renege. Like him giving you all this mundane work that wasn't part of your job. That wasn't what you signed up for. They don't care. Ad hoc analysis, ad hoc duties, 40%. Oh, we want you to clean the toilets with a Q-tip. So there you go. Yeah, I would leave, but you're going to have to find another job. That's the advice for everyone. Buy yourself a medallion, ditch the chain. No, this is the nieces gave this to me. I'm sorry, they lent it to me. I have to return it in 2.5 weeks. Very insistent it was only 3 weeks. The Competent Man, $5. Within a company, especially larger ones, everyone is constantly walking on eggshells, fearful of upsetting anyone for any reason. Work for yourself. Yep. Yep. Dude, I remember working at a not big corporation, at a small little bank, and it was critical. Like, they were insolvent. They needed government bailout, and the government was up their ass. And I'm like, well, we get to, I still got flack. I'm like, guys, we're not Goldman Sachs. We're not the private banking division of U.S. Bancorp. We're a small little pissant bank in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, with shitty branches, shitty furniture, shitty employees, and shitty clients. Now, do you want to turn this thing around or not? How much you want to lend Jessup, the cousin fucking yokel? He's got his cousin fucking, hey, Aaron, we got an application in Wyoming. It wasn't this bad, but it was almost. Yeah, this guy, he wants to start a cousin fucking farm. Well, how would that work, Frank? Well, you see, in Wyoming, it's culture to fuck your cousins. I'm learning about that every new day. Yeah, I'm learning about new Wyoming culture. But you see, they borrow money from us so they could get better cousins to fuck. Oh, good. And how would that work? Well, I don't know. He hasn't given us a business plan yet, but I think it's a great idea. It's the cousin fucker loan. Wasn't that bad, obviously, but it wasn't far off. And one dipshit come in wanting a loan for gas money. I'm like, what? I need gas money to see my grandson who has a brain problem and is just born and he's going to brain. I'm like, what are you talking about? Talking to me. Like, that's how low level this bank was. Wasting my time at the time. It was an assistant VP, which doesn't mean much, but it's like, this is the world where it's like, go to a payday lender. Ask your friend to borrow $80 for gas. What are you talking? You're coming to a bank asking for a tank of gas? Jared Robert, $2. Mr. C, sick chain, bro. You must be making the 6 figs easy. Damn right, Rob. No, I just found it funny because it is kind of, I don't know if you guys can see the different colors. It's gaudy as hell. Chain is huge. It'll go down to my crotch. That's why I had to kind of tie it up in the back. I'm just shocked a little 4 and 7-year-old had one. I'm like, where the heck did you get this? Auntie Amy got it for us. Auntie Amy got you a pimp chain, huh? All right. I was just going to get you a Lego set, but apparently I'm behind the times. Fred Freeman Sowell, $5. I showed coworker how gender pay gap disappears in multivariate analysis. Is this factually? I see you're right, but emotionally I know you're wrong. Minnesota graduate. Yeah, well, then he's wrong. Let's talk to Dicey. Dicey has more intelligence than that person does. Hello, Mr. Dicey. What's that, Dicey? 7. Oh my goodness, 7? Oh, you got, wow. Dicey, can you tell us something else? Well, you got something else to say, Dicey? 2. Oh my gosh, 2. Thanks, Dicey. You're so much more intelligent than the average young American Democrat Quantahaha. Oh. Mario J, $2. Why do you hate Jim Morrison? I bailed you out already. I don't like Morrison's songs. And you know what? Let's be honest. I don't personally hate Jim Morrison because he's dead. I hate how like the boomers thought it was like the greatest music ever. You know, it's like Kurt Cobain. I don't personally hate Kurt Cobain. If you look at his background, it's sad and tortured. So I actually kind of like Kurt Cobain, but when you OD, or in his case, you blow your head off, I'm like, yeah, they lose respect at minimum. It's the effing morons, like Teen Spirit. Hey, and people think that's great. I'll give you Red Hot Chili Peppers. They got skill. They got talent. Maybe not my favorite music, but they had their own sound, and some of them was actually pretty good too. But, oh my gosh, it's the people that followed them. Playing organ music. I don't hate the man. I hate the people that follow the man. Alex Patino, $5. The Army has the same problems. Egos can be broken easily. The only difference is you cannot talk back to your superiors. Yeah. I don't know, Alex, if you've ever seen A Bridge Too Far, which everyone should have. Great scene. Well, a couple instances where the good guys lose. But the radios, when they're going to do Operation Market Garden, the radios wouldn't work because they're going into the lowlands. I think they're going into Holland, Denmark, wherever Jack lives. So you wouldn't have radio communications when they're down below because it wouldn't go through the ground. And so there's even a scene, they're like, well, these radios aren't going to work out there. Like, well, don't tell somebody that. You want to get in trouble? And there's a great scene where there's this Army intelligence agent officer called Fuller. And he gets all these photographic evidence. There's tanks in the countryside where they're about to send a bunch of infantry. And he says, we got a problem. He goes to his commanding officers, like, there's tanks, Panzers, we got to call it off. And it's just great. The commanding officer looks at us, camouflaged, probably hardly serviceable. And then Fuller looks and says, sir, you see they are tanks. He's like, listen up here. And then he just yells at him. It's like, we're going to go through with this no matter what. Da, 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 da. And then, of course, the Allies get their asses handed to them. Because I don't know if you knew this, there were tanks. Tanks there. There were tanks. Not little Shermans either. They're Panzers. The big, mean German tanks. And that's cost many old soldiers their lives, where the officers did not listen to the people on the front lines, or just the general concerns, intelligent concerns of intelligence analysts, or people saying, hey, these radios ain't going to work here. I wouldn't tell anyone that. Fred Freeman Sowell, $2. Is CFA respected? Do finance bros get it? I don't know. At one time, it was like that was the creme de la creme. And two things. One, more and more people. When I was originally looking at, only 50 people, I think, in the world had it at the time. Now I don't know how many people have it, and I don't know how valuable it is anymore. Simply because the industry has taken such a hit, not so much in terms of a financial hit, but reputation and obsolescence. Like, there's no reason to get a certified financial plan. Like, you don't need financial planners. Index, boom, done. We have robo advisors, robo investors. It takes care of it for you. Boomers and more recently Gen Xers had at least a generation and a half, 2 generations to prove that they could beat the index and actively manage money better than randomly investing. And they've proven conclusively they can't. And so I don't know what value a CFA carries anymore. Another reason I'm not too excited about the CFA is I've known more people to take and pass 1 or 2 of the 3 exams. Maybe it's up to 4. I don't know. But their career never required it. And then they're like, oh, I'm making too much money. I'm too busy. I don't need the CFA. And finance dude bros do not get it. To get your CFA, you have to be, it's not an easy qualification. Very difficult certification to get. So it's not the washed up jock who put on the freshman 15 in college because he drank beer all the time. And he's wheeling and dealing. He's the big idea guy. You got to be a finance and statistical and policy nerd. Same mentality as the CPA. So, I mean, it's respected. I mean, it's certainly not a bad thing on your resume. But I don't think it once had the cachet or a pull or even the practicality or use that it once did. So that was Scott Lukey, $2 with Shane. You look like an accountant for a pimp. Thanks. Chad, pimp accountant. Competent man, $5. Operation Markagon, completely out of character of Monty. Monty usually attacked only at 10-1, but here we had Monty running a high-risk operation failed. So you're saying he ran the full Monty? Huh? See what I did there? Huh? Todd Mapelli, 2 British pounds. I'm a broke college student, Cappy. Well, is there any other kind? Wait, Todd, aren't you the guys getting your master's degree in like computer science? You ain't going to be broke for long. You won't. Don't worry. Everyone's broke. Don't worry. This is the forging process. You will not be broke for long. You will make the 6 figs. And you won't have to flash things like this around. Fred Freeman Sowell, $2. The Asian X was traditional. Moved to New York City. Now a liberal. Sad. Oh, that proof right there is it doesn't matter how intelligent you are. Humans are totally susceptible to brainwashing. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would really love to run a correlation between IQ and susceptibility to brainwashing. I don't know what metric you would use for susceptibility to brainwashing. But I guarantee there'd be no correlation. It'd be 0. A dumb person is equally likely or unlikely to be brainwashed as a genius. Todd Apelli for 2 British pounds. Here's some gas money. Where can I request advice? Go to assholeconsulting.com. That's it. That's the easiest way. You may want to hold off. If you insist on a video response, we're doing sore throat pricing. So videos are starting at minimum $50. So people have been opting for emails, which is fine. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.